Hello and welcome to Missing Tools Simulator. Welcome to Stardew Valley. We are getting very, very close to the end here. We have over $9 million on hand. So we are very close to having everything we need for the uh, golden clock. We also have the desert festival just around the corner. I don't know how much time I'll actually spend focusing on the uh, festival this year, because, at this point, does it really matter? I suppose it doesn't hurt to at least check out who has a stall each day, but as far as actually, helping me with any further goals towards perfection, I don't see that the uh, Desert Festival will be terribly helpful. Gotta get these pigs out again. I just do not have enough uh, travels. I wish I had rearranged my animal buildings earlier, or from the start, so that I would have fully friendship pigs now. But I didn't do that, so now we're behind on where I want to be. I'll let the barn animals out today. Let all the coop animals out tomorrow. I'll alternate so that they're not all eating all of the uh, grass at once. True, I don't think I need to worry about it yet. There's a nice big section of grass further down in the pen area that they can eat from for a while, but why not take care of it now? Get 3 truffles right off the bat. 4 of them's doubled. Alright, so today is Sunday, which is not Greenhouse Day, or Wine Day, or Island Day. So, I've not had enough water today. Water would be better, but I know I don't really drink water on stream, but I do drink water too. Alright, so let's get our junk put away. It's not junk, I just don't need it right now. I already have 100 diamonds in there, so sell this one. And, I believe I said last time that I would probably start once again with uh, lava eel fishing. My thought initially had been, instead of fishing yet again, I do a Skull Cavern dive. But if I do attend the Desert Festival, then Skull Cavern dives will be the thing. I accidentally left that open and now they're roaming. Well, that's annoying. We'll cope. Break that up. To my sap, my copper, and my uh, solar essence. And I'll make 2 trap bobbers and 2 quality bobbers. More coal. I love coal. Not so much in real life, but you know, in Stardew Valley, coal is great. Of course, Stardew Valley is not melting. So we've got Leah and Shane and Sam and Demetrius, Caroline as well. Where's that Judy? This. Okay, it is Leah. Alright. It's already almost 1, so we won't have a full day to fish, but I have briefly considered whether, uh, I know I mentioned considering leaving the bait maker here last time. I know that some people will also keep fish smokers here as well, so that they can so that they can smoke lava eels while they're going, rather than smoke them all after getting back home like I do. I guess if you're staying on the island for multiple days, you would want to keep the smokers here. But since I go home at the end of each day, to the mainland, you don't really need to keep the smokers here. Then you could also have like a chest or some other storage here, so that you can have the materials for any bobbers or bait or whatnot just here ready to go. So that if you only brought 1 or 2 sets of bobbers, you don't have to stop when you're done. You can just open up the chest and craft another one. Or just have like a full stack crafted in there. And have the chest filled with bobbers ready to go. You could do a Junimo chest. Have your materials back on in the main area. Anytime you happen to be back there, craft more, put them in the Junimo chest, and then you have them here as well. And they're really utilized Junimo chests, but they are a nice item. I could also see one being useful for something like the mines. Put all of your extra tools in there when you go at the mine, and then if you pass out in the mines like most people do, you can grab your tools out of the Junimo chest when you wake up at home. Also, if you use Dynamo chests, you don't have to try and remember what chest did I put that in. The correct answer is both of them. Ancient seed, because I need more of those. Says the guy who has his entire greenhouse and a Ginger Island farm filled with ancient fruit. Part of me thinks that I should utilize whatever additional mainland farm space I can find and put any additional ancient seeds I happen to stumble across there. Just so that, no, I'm not essentially wasting them. And if I were to do so, I'd want to start sooner rather than later. Take a season to grow. I saw a post the other day about hating on the crop fairy is such a bad take, and I've been displeased with her in this file. But one of the people who was complaining about her got an ancient seed in the first week, and then the first day they planted it down, got a crop fairy. So they had a fully grown ancient fruit within 1 week of starting their file, and they were still upset. And that I just cannot understand. The only reason I was not super thrilled in this file is because I was doing a specific challenge that did not allow me to take advantage of it. But if you are not restricting yourself on that day, there is no reason to not be thrilled in a situation like that. So having ancient fruit to sell at the beginning of the game would make everything so much easier. I'm not fishing very well today, again. Either that or the lava eel are just harder than usual today. Oh, for goodness sake, I'm losing so many of them. Maybe this is punishment for not going to the Skull Cavern. It also could be that my computer is still on low power. It's plugged in, but it's possible that things are not running optimally. I did some of the things off screen for Pokemon that I said I was going to do. Made sure to get Lieutenant Surge and Jasmine's numbers and have at least Lieutenant Surge already called for the rematch. Jasmine, I have to wait. But yeah, I got all that stuff set up. Maybe you're wondering why I'm not doing Pokemon today. That was the original plan, to do Stardew Valley yesterday and something in Pokemon today. And or another game. Because there's only so much I can do in Pokemon until I can rematch Jasmine. But the internet was bad yesterday, so I didn't stream at all. And decided that since I can do more in Stardew Valley than I can in Pokemon right now, I would do Stardew Valley today instead. That's the last piece of bait, but I'll cast anyway because I already clicked the button. Maybe I'll get lucky. Or I'll just wait forever. Okay, I still hooked a lava eel regardless of not having the bait on this guest. The lava eel bait doesn't have any impact on the quality or the difficulty of catching the lava eel. It just makes it much more likely that I'll hook a lava eel instead of trash. I definitely want to make sure that I get back to my farm in enough time to close up the doors. The animals will all teleport back inside, which means it will be safe for me to close that fence again and not have them wandering everywhere. As it is, I'm going to guess that there's probably at least one shuffle outside the animal enclosure. Good to know that I have more than enough deluxe bait. I'd be pretty happy if there were a way to like combine deluxe bait and targeting bait. Because deluxe bait also gives you that slightly larger fishing bar. Targeted bait doesn't do that. And any fishing bar increased size would make them so much easier to catch. Now, the way some of these have gone today, no fishing bar would have actually allowed me to catch them. It was just bad, but one of these days I do want to see for myself how large it is actually possible to make the fishing bar. Like use seafoam pudding with key seasoning for an extra 5 levels. The master enchantment from the forge for another level. 2 cork bobbers, increasing the fishing bar size. Deluxe bait to make it even bigger. And just see how large it is in that situation. That does require a lot of setup. And, getting the correct enchantments. Speaking of enchantments, though no one said it in the chat, I did remember to uh, throw the save file into a predictor because I wanted to see what enchantments I would get if I were to enchant my tools. Which, I'm at the forge right now, but I don't have a prismatic shard with me, so I couldn't do it right now. But I will tell you what the results were. So if I were to enchant my weapon, as I do not have any enchantment yet, I would get Haymaker, which just makes you get more hay when chopping grass with the weapon, but I use the Iridium Scythe anyway, which has that effect to begin with. If I did a pickaxe, it would be Swift, which is almost what animation canceling does, but not quite as much. Same with the axe, same with the hoe. But watering can would give me efficient, which makes it take no energy. Same with the fishing rod, it would take no energy. And for the uh, pan, I would get the Fisher enchantment, which, let's see. The Fisher enchantment on the pan. I'm trying to remember what that actually does. I clicked Fisher and it took me to the profession. The Fisher enchantment on the pan is a 10% chance of receiving a location of appropriate fish as a panning reward. So, yeah. To make Haymaker more clear, more fibers earned when collecting reeds, and a chance to collect hay. 50% chance of dropping a fiber when cutting weeds, and 33% chance of extra hay, which can go into the silo, but if you don't have one, that actually collects the hay, unlike scything, uh, where if you don't have a silo, it's just wasted. So we know what the first enchantment would be because I don't have any enchantment on them. But after that, there's usually a chance of it possibly doing one or another. I can say with certainty that I would not take Haymaker as a enchantment, but I can't say for certain whether I would or would not take any of the others. I'm kind of surprised that the fishing rod is eligible for efficient, honestly, because all the other stuff, all the other tools, when you get into level 10 in that skill, it only costs 1 energy anyway. But the fishing rod, even at level 10, still costs 7 per cast, so the idea that it, then gives you uh, no energy drain when fishing seems a little bit like efficient is a lot better there than it is on any other tool. A lot of people who go hard into enchanting their tools don't want to see Swift because most of the people who would enchant their tools are already using animation canceling anyway. So Swift isn't exciting to them. I use animation canceling when I'm playing on PC for myself, but decide to not use it for the stream. I have auto hotkey for that. So it wouldn't be eligible for a speed run because it just does it automatically for me, but yeah, animation canceling is allowed in speedruns as long as you actually push the buttons to make the animation cancel, but you can remap it to make it easier than the default keys. You just can't make it so that the button you click to do an action also hits all those keys to automatically cancel it. I think what most people do is they remap one of them to spacebar. That makes it a little easier to hit when they're doing actions. Because the default buttons you have to push if you want to cancel an animation is and I've had it mapped for so long I don't even remember. You have to hit right shift, specifically right shift, delete and R simultaneously. And if you do that, then you cancel the animation. And with this keyboard, I have no idea how I would even manage that. I would have to be using only keyboard because I'd have to do the action with C or X and like something like C, and then hit them. Because if I have one hand on the mouse, there's no way I would be able to hit right shift, delete, and R. My finger just does not reach. I suppose if I had smaller keyboards, then maybe, but this is a big, powerful laptop that has an appropriately sized keyboard. The first laptops I had were smaller and did not have the number pad on the right hand side. Those keyboards probably would have been small enough. But for this laptop, the previous one I had, and I believe one more before that, one thing I wanted to make sure they had was numbers I could tap easier. I'm going to do one more set of bait. Because I still got a fair bit of durability on these tackle. If I do one final wrap-up stream to show things after uh, show things that happen after you achieve perfection, I might use animation canceling for that. Because while perfection is, finishing what the game has to achieve, there are some things that happen afterwards that are rewards for having reached that point. Plus, if you weren't lucky enough to get a tea set from the Feast of the Winter Star, the only other way to get it is to reach year 50 and buy it from the traveling cart, so. And yes, I've gotten lucky in 2 playthroughs, but I still think playing 50 years of the game to get a tea set is worth it. So, I believe the furthest I've ever reached on a playthrough is year 7. That was like that was my first farm, and I would play more each time a new update came out. Just get the new things. But since it was, such an early farm, it took me a long time to get the first things done. So, a lot of cleanup to do. When I first played the game, perfection was not a thing. The island was not a thing. Granted, I would say I wasn't a serious player until probably 1.3. I did play it before that, but I would say it was, an occasional thing. Actually, I remember testing 1.3 and posting when weird things happened. 1.3 is when Lightning was making everyone's game crash. Now I still dread lightning because it makes me drop frames when streaming, but it doesn't make the game crash. Yeah, I can see how space would work. Oops. Um, so there's a small amount of durability still on those. But I think I'm going to head back because it's 11, or almost 11. And I did want to make sure I got things closed up. So, if I had to pay to go to the Desert Festival, I probably wouldn't even bother. But since I do at least have the warp, don't have to pay. I guess it's worth it. Though the Desert Festival doesn't open immediately at the start of the day, so it's not like I can do anything with it at first anyway. Let's put down the bait maker. Put one of my fishies in there. And now I have room in my inventory for those. If I do that, and do that, I can pick up both of these. Anything that I put in here? Eh, I'll come back to it. I don't need geodes, regular geodes. I don't like the sonar bobber. I don't need any more dress spinners. I have 3 in here already. Let's put the ores away. I missed the frozen geodes. I'll come back to those. This stuff is specifically for being sold. I'll sell that. I will sell that. I'll put the frozen or the fire quartz away. I have 25 lava eels still. I will put a new set of slime in the press. I will start smoking lava eel. Can do it at a time. I will come over here and I will close up this. Look at all these truffles outside the enclosure. I knew I would have some. I didn't think I would have that many. At least I got a lot of truffles today. I was kind of sad that I wasn't getting all that many. Let's see, we'll try and get that row processing. We will continue smoking lava eel, but I'm not going to be able to get that set out of the smoker before I pass out. I will just sell the blue slime egg. I put books in here. And I'll just put the ancient seed in here as an artifact for now, but I'll think about changing it. Do 3 more coffee. It's 1:40 a.m., 1:50 a.m. Just barely in bed in time. So today with the fishing, a couple aged Legends row and the 8 lava eel we had smoked so far. Just 8 is 47,000, but we've got now 17 more to sell next day. Still made over 100,000. The blue sign make helped a little bit. Dinosaur eggs too. It was also one of our 20 Mayo days. The ostriches do help. 9.25 million. Monday is also not greenhouse or island or wine. It is conceivable. I don't think strawberries are ready again yet, but and neither is honey. So I certainly have time today to explore the desert festival if I feel like it. The alternative would be to spend today picking up salmon berries, because my least favorite thing about the timing of the desert festival is that it interferes with salmon berry season. If you want to do the desert festival all 3 days, the only entire day you have to hunt salmon berries would be the 18th. Now, I have only once bothered to unlock the desert before the 15th in year 1, so that is the only time where I haven't been able to enjoy year 1 salmonberry picking. And after the first year, there's going to be other options to make money, or to have energy, so missing out on the salmonberries is not as big of a deal after year 1 anyway. But if you're like me and have 250 sashimi and always forget that you can use it for energy, having salmon berries is nice. Let's see, we've got that top row again. Keep doing tomatoes. Though why I picked up 8, I don't know. There's only 6 up there. We have not run into a situation since expanding to 4 rows of 6 preserve jars where I'm unable to utilize that top row for other crops. The Desert Festival does not count as a festival day in terms of feeding your animals, so they do still need to be fed one way or another for these 3 days. I believe I explained all this for last year's Desert Festival. There's still the trash can every day for the calico eggs. You can do the quiz once per year, so I'll be able to do that again this year to get a little bit more. But of course, if you really want a lot of calico eggs, you gotta do the quests. I was playing on my Switch the other night and managed to make it to floor 116 in the Skull Cavern without using a single staircase. Which makes it more wild is I didn't bring bombs or staircases. I didn't eat spicy eel beforehand. I didn't take the Dwarf King blessing that gives you more mine shafts and ladders. I had the luck boost from the Statue of Blessings, and that's it. And I still managed to get more than 100 floors. I don't know how I would ever do that again with what I had with me. But it worked out very nicely. for that one time. I need to do something. It's bothering me. It is now the 15th day of spring in my game, and I still have Christmas decorations out. There's nothing wrong with Christmas decorations, but there is a point where you should not have them out anymore. Let me do something real quick. I had the uh, web browser open behind my stream instead of OBS. So I will put the Christmas decorations in here so that they are there, ready waiting for next Christmas. Or Feast of the Winter Star if you are unwilling to accept the game calling the if you're unwilling to let me call it Christmas. The next race is about to begin. Let's see, well, I got a good feeling about Cactus Crawler. So as with every other year, you can get something new. Emily is running a shop, so Sandy is picking my clothes today. She picked Rich for rainbow shirt. Are you trying to say something, Sandy? Red pants, and she gave me no hat. You can get a new cactus. Oh, no. I absolutely want one. Tall cactus. I like it. So we've got Robin running a shop today. She sells wood and stone. You can also get the furniture catalog for 1,000 calico eggs instead of 200,000 G. And of course wallpaper. Up to 500 wood or stone. Emily is the one from whom you can get a prismatic shard, which makes her a very nice person to have. Unlike some of the other spouses, she does not have a particular weapon that you can only get from her, so I'm not too worried about today. This is just the usual desert trader. Anything from the traveling cart? I will take the rare seed. So the quizmaster back here, Scholar. Who runs the animal shop in Pelican Town? Marnie, when she's there. What season does artichoke grow in? That's fall. In what season can you catch squid? We found that that's winter, as I had to wait for one so I could cook fried calamari. Where might you catch the lava eel? The volcano. Mine level 100. And he gives me 50 calico eggs for that. And of course, check the trash. And get a few more there. And who won? This race's winner is Speed Rooster. Cactus Crawler. I believe in you. Let's see what the mine quests today are. Collect 12 Omni Geodes or slay 10 serpents. Uh, if I tell them that I want to slay 10 serpents, I'm not going to find too many enemies in there. I'm not even gonna stay to watch the race though. Uh, it's the rare fruit and uncomfortably hot sauce. Rumpled fruit skin. Yep. Okay. That's what you want. Speed boost and luck boost. A speed boost right away, not to mention, it is a cat statue, so that increases my egg rating. Another 5 levels, we'll do it again. Drop another 8 levels. You got some serpents in sight here. More monsters should make it easier to accomplish that goal. Thankfully, I've already, completed all my Monster Slayer goals, I think. Have I? I'm actually not sure that I have. No, I have. I definitely have. Sorry, temporarily confused. Yeah, I definitely killed all the monsters I need to. There's another statue. Let's get our egg rating up a little bit more. And calico eggs straight up. I was reasonably confident that it would take me a while to find the 10 serpents to kill, but then I got the more monsters from the statue, and now I'm gonna have serpents coming out of my ears. Another gold animal cracker. That's kinda cool. That's the quest complete. Oh, there's a ladder over here. And another statue. Mummies have become angry. I'd be angry too. Wrapped up like that all the time. Full refresh. I was just about to heal myself. What timing? And then I mistimed the swing on the bats. Hmm. It's always tough during the desert festival. I don't necessarily care about the clothes that I'm given, but part of me wants to hold on to them anyway. At least through the bat wings. After all, I don't have a butterfly hutch. 4 quality sprinklers, don't need them. Another drop shaft. Since we already completed the quest, now all that's left is to impress the guild by getting a decent rating. Really, coffee beans. Oops. Oh well. I don't expect myself to get an outstanding reading anyway. It doesn't really matter if I miss one statue. Late game prehistoric floors. Make sure I'm selling the bones. That was a late turn, sir. Oops. Well, I guess I can't warp back. A dark cowboy hat. Yeehaw. I know what I want the treasure floor to drop, but I'm not holding my breath. Ow. At the level I'm at, I did not expect it to be a crab. But an iridium node can be a crab at any level. I'll snag that cat statue before I go down the ladder this time. Huh. I got my egg rating one higher, but my reward is more bats. That one had no effect. Here's another drop shaft. It's 820 and our current egg rating is 20. Not fantastic, but I'll take it. The problem with more bats is we are now on floor 49, which means next floor we're going to start encountering iridium bats. And the more bats will apply to those as well. I saw the statue, I didn't care. Friendly neighborhood iridium bat. I don't want to drop the iridium ore though. 13 floors I just dropped. The most you could possibly drop at once is 15. Brizzy. It's level 1 fairy, so I don't care about that. If it were a higher level fairy than the one I already have, then sure. But it's not necessarily better to It's not like I'll have better odds of rolling this one into a high level one than I do of one I already have, so. Full refresh again. I could tell that one was a rock. I was ready for it. This one I don't think is. As for this one, I believe it is also a crab. Yeah, I'd be happy with an egg rating of 30. There are a couple of bats in my way, but I can get around them. Angry mummies plus the more bats. Yeah, this is not what you want to see. You're trying to get a few more floors. Oh, goodness sake. I see only one good option here, and that is a staircase. Skeletons are after you. You don't say. Oh no! Ah! Monsters do less damage. Cool. I appreciate it. Let's take an egg rating of 29. I don't want to try and bomb all this stuff. I'm just leaving. It's good enough. He's impressed. Got 200 calico eggs, and I got Gil's hat. I am pleased to receive your hat, Gil. I have enough stone. Alright, we are leaving, heading home. I'm not sure why you would pay the teleportation guy here to take you back home. It takes you to the bus stop. I feel like that's close enough, but... Okay, I don't need the rubies or the diamonds. And I knew I wouldn't be keeping them, but I wanted to sell them in the shipping bin rather than trash them. Another slime egg. Put another golden animal cracker there. Another rare seed there. We're going to be very careful because I always make fun of the people who blow up their farm with bombs. Because I say, why would you walk around your farm carrying bombs? But I have bombs in my inventory right now, and I don't want to have to issue an apology to everyone I've ever laughed at. So we're going to be careful. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get into bed in time, though. I think I'll get inside, no problem. I clicked out of the game, no! I'm inside. I even got the bombs put away. I'm the best. Alright, so we sold the rest of our lava eel haul that day. We got a lot of truffles, so I was able to get more oil. But it's really the lava eel. That was almost 100,000 by itself. So another 178,000. That brings our current total earnings up to, or on hand money, up to 9.44 million. Our total earnings are approaching 15 million. And Tuesday happens to be wine day. It's actually funny that Tuesday is my wine day. Because of real life things. I could do my wine in game on Wednesday and call it Wine Down Wednesday. That's a real thing. But I don't need to determine when I'm making money in Stardew Valley based on real life excuses to drink. It's going to be a red slime egg. That's more valuable than the green or blue. Did I actually already have Gil's hat? Did I get it in the previous year? Or on a previous day? It doesn't look like it actually. Cool. Alright, we're gonna do our Dwarf King. Gonna do our Statue of Blessings. I lose no energy today. And let's harvest our strawberries. Strawberry harvest. I have some strawberries in the fridge downstairs. Maybe I'll snack on those after the stream. I should have snacked on them before the stream, but... The sound of harvesting is so relaxing when you're not, worried about it. I'm going to make it so that I have 100 strawberries in reserve. I'm going to sell the rest. So not only are we doing wine today, we're also harvesting strawberries. I'm gonna not worry about the bait crab pots. This one, and this one, and these two. I'm also going to put the cactus somewhere. Let's put the cactus between this sculpture and the chicken statue. And remember that I have a child that should be shown affection. Just hold down the mouse click while I take a sip. Okay. Some more truffle oil. It'll take care of our animals, and then we'll do the wine. And then we'll determine if we actually want to go to the desert. Oink oink. Did I talk about the bribe I received on stream? On Thursday? I didn't receive a bribe on stream. I was offered a bribe, and I don't remember if I talked about it on stream. Well, in case someone only watches the Stardew Valley, I will mention it. Uh, I did complete the Dasher quiz that you have to complete before you can be offered orders that include alcohol. You have to make sure that you're not gonna break the law and check IDs and such. So my last delivery on Wednesday was an alcohol delivery. Someone ordered a small bottle of vodka from a liquor store. So I went and picked it up, and the guy actually at the store didn't bother to check my ID, but I mean, I do not pass for under 21. So he gave me the bottle. I went over to the address, and I have to assume that this person has ordered alcohol before, because I didn't even have to ask about their ID, but they immediately told me that it was expired. And obviously, an expired license is not valid. I humored them and tried to scan it anyway, but I knew it wouldn't work. They said they had a temporary ID, but that it was torn, so the barcode was not complete, which wouldn't have mattered anyway because temporary IDs are not valid for alcohol deliveries anyway. So I could see that this person was 30 years old, because, no, the fact that their license is expired doesn't change what their age is. But without valid ID, I had to say, I'm sorry, I cannot give this to you. And they offered me an extra $10 if I just gave it to them anyway. But I said no, because I'm not going to break the law for $10, or any amount for that matter. So, that is the first time I've been offered an additional tip to do something that I shouldn't be doing on a delivery. I'm just going to do ancient fruits today because I don't want to bother figuring out any other crops. So I'm going to do all ancient fruit wine. Let's see, 444 minus 138 would take me to 306. If my math is right. So if that 306 is right, then I am missing one in here, because I haven't put the one outside yet. There we go. And one there. And then because I do both sheds on the same day, I know many who do not. Some people like to do their sheds on different days, so they're making wine money on a greater number of different days. But I'll do it all in one day. And I didn't count that out, but I think it's all good. So it's already, 3 p.m. and I have not been to the desert yet. I will go out there to see who's there, but let's say, reasonable suspicion that I won't be able to get much done. I almost went to the island instead. We got Marnie and Vincent. Marnie sells wallpaper, grass starters, hay, and truffle oil for some reason. I could spend 50 calico eggs to sell that for 1,491. Vincent is selling fiber, bug meat, sap, cave carrot, and then clay, skeletal hand, and chipped amphora. So a couple artifacts that are not terribly common, but you can get them from Vincent here. It makes me look like I'm... Toga makes it look like I have a beer belly. Please don't make my farmer look fat. We'll see what the traveling merchant has today. Blackberry cobbler, sunflower seeds, crayfish, bok choy, cranberry seeds, bean starter, clam, cloth, iridium bar, battery pack, mahogany chair, rear seed, penny portrait. I'm not, too worried about iridium bars at this point. I mean, we saw how much iridium I got yesterday. Linus doesn't mind if you dig through the trash. What have we got today, Mr. Marlin? Reach level 30 and collect 12 Omni Geodes. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go back home and find some berries. I could also make sure that I go down to the waterfall tomorrow and get the pot of gold. But, I mean, I don't need another leprechaun hat, and it's not really much gold. I mean, sure, in the first year, when you're not even done with spring, especially if you're, playing somewhat casually, that 200 or so gold is a nice little something. You can buy a few seed packets with it at least, but when I'm at 9.4 million on hand, it doesn't really matter. Since I am getting salmon berries today, this is also the day I'm going to go ahead and sell off my blackberries. That's kind of tucked away in the corner, but with a scythe I can easily reach it, and with iridium band I have the magnetism to pick it up too. That's the hardest part about harvest salmonberry season in year one. You might not have a magnet ring or something else that gives you magnetism yet, so sometimes the berries will fall into the void. You won't be able to pull them out. But I have an iridium bar, or I have an iridium band, which is more than enough magnetism. I still say blackberry season is better than salmon. Blackberries are better than salmon berries in the sense that blackberries also have their own 4-day period, but you can also find blackberries, occasionally throughout all of fall, whereas salmon berries outside of the bat cave sometimes can only be found during the 4 days of their season. So in terms of getting lots of them, blackberries are better. In terms of how much energy and health they restore, it's a wash, because they're exactly the same in that regard. But but blackberry season will always feel better because chances are, even if you'll probably be at higher foraging level by the time fall comes around, so you might get more blackberries easier in fall, or you might even be level 10 foraging by the first fall and be going from regular quality salmon berries to iridium blackberries. I usually have level 10 well before year 2, so don't have to worry about that at least. Year 2 will always be easier. Now the only difference is that I could use some sort of excuse me. I could use some sort of food to temporarily increase my foraging level and get 4 berries per plant. But I've never felt that to be necessary. I've always found that 3 per plant is more than adequate. I'll cycle around the bottom here and loop up, but I'm not going to go all the way down to Hat Mouse area. I'll get this berry and this one, and then I'll start heading up and back around. You can do raccoon quests forever, but once they've danced for you and you've gotten the achievement, I don't feel like it's really necessary anymore. I mean, it's a good way to get like more fairy dust or mostly their seeds, the carrots, summer squash, broccoli, and powder melon is what you're going to get most often, but you can get other things as well. I can see one that's kind of nestled in the grass here, but I see a lot more outside of the grass. They're not all maxed yet, but as their friendship level increases, I am getting, you can see that I'm getting more and more truffles each day. I am up to 9 rare seeds. I did kind of look at the traveling cart and I didn't see any times before fall when I'm getting 5 in a day, so I don't think it'll be a ton of rare seeds in fall, but there'll be a few. Especially if I decide to keep up with it for some reason. Alright, 12 midnight. We're gonna make a lot of money when we sleep. Let's lower my mood with a round of Junimo cart, and then I'll be even happier when I see the money I made. Will this be enough for the golden clock? It'll be close. Don't know if it'll quite be the remaining 5.5 million I need, or 550,000 that I need, but it'll be close. Blackberries don't sell for much, but hundreds of iridium blackberries with the bear's knowledge will make a dent. Had one full shed of ancient fruit wine, another partial shed of other somewhat valuable wines, plus just what I get each day from animals, and it was also a strawberry harvest. So all of that together, I do think I'm going to get enough for the golden clock now. Now that doesn't get me quite to perfection. I do still have to buy the other two obelisks as well, which is a combined 1 million, plus, the materials I need. So, we don't know for sure that I'm getting perfection this stream, but I'm going to be darn close. That's why in the description I put possible finale. I guess I didn't put that in the Twitch description though. I don't know my title. What's the title of the stream is on Switch or on Twitch. It might still be something about strawberries. When I streamed Pokemon the other day, I forgot to change my category from Stardew Valley to Pokemon. So people who were looking for a Pokemon stream would not have been able to find mine, and people who were looking for a Stardew Valley stream may have seen it, but they would notice that what I was playing was not Pokemon. I thought I would get that orange, but I guess I didn't jump quite soon enough. Okay, I jumped into the bubble. That is a sufficiently poor. Where's Penny? Penny's not here. So I made 434,000 from the farming section alone, which is, all the wine, the strawberries, the mayos, and all that. The blackberries are in here. That was 39,000. There's the. Didn't get a lot of road today. Red slime egg helps a little bit. So 481,000. Not quite the amount we were hoping for. I'm at 9,992,302. That is disgustingly close. Like, it kind of hurts how close I am to the golden clock. If I make 71,000 today, that's enough. But you know what today is? I know what today is, but do you? We'll see it now. Honey Day. Honey alone guarantees over 100,000 today. So, spring year 4, day 18 is when this file will get the golden clock. That is late for my typical standards, but I think the first time I did a challenge like this, which I did for myself on my Switch, I think it did take me longer. Well, no, I haven't done it since 1.6, so how long it took me then is irrelevant. It's a different game now. Also, if I was trading, I could just sell the truffles as they are. Iridium truffle is still $12.50, so. But I like to process them. Now, if I felt the need to switch to, like, agriculturist for some reason, then obviously I would be selling them as they are. Because truffle oil without artisan would sell for less than the iridium truffles, but if you have artisan, oil sells for $14.91. I think I let the barn animals out yesterday, so it'd be cooped today. Not that it really matters. It's not like the world will end if I let one out 2 days in a row. Nothing bad would happen if I didn't let either of them out. Just means less grass outside would get eaten that day. And maybe I want that sometimes. I think I was going to make more sheds, or more kegs, but I didn't think about it. I have the oak resin to do a few more. And I do have an amount of wood. I'm not going to do lava eel fishing today because I will still want to at least check in on the desert festival, but the priority is getting the honey harvested. So, island first today. And of course, island again tomorrow for our big ancient fruit day. All that will be ready tomorrow. Yes, but we still need a desert and, or not desert, a beach and mountain obelisk. I don't care too much about the beach one because for the most part, by the time I'm using obelisks, the only reason I would go to the beach is to go to the island anyway. I guess the mountain one could be helpful. It would be a little bit faster to use a mountain obelisk on your farm than it would be to go to the minecarts at the bus station and anyway to get up the mountain there. It's a lot faster. The reason you're going to the mountain is for Robin. Darn it, I did it again. I almost want to reset the day because of that, but I won't. I'll just fix it again. I could also put down more bee houses so it doesn't happen again. Man, that's annoying. So disappointing. Deluxe retaining soil. I don't need the deluxe retaining soil. That's still there. It's iron. I know that. I always grab out the copper instead. So I was holding on to this wood for kegs. But I needed this issue with the island fixed. Do not pick so many fairy rose. Now, there are some other spots that are dangerous, but most of those I can't protect all 8 spots around it because I wouldn't be able to get to the honey if I did. But this one I often accidentally harvest when I'm getting the other honey by the water. So we're going to surround it. I can still get around here and I can reach all of them. So it doesn't prevent me from getting any honey, but it does protect me from accidentally harvesting that particular fairy rose ever again. And now that I've fixed that and gotten all the honey, now I will go to the desert and see what's happening today. See who has a stall and if I want any of their stuff. We got Gus and we've got Clint. Clint is doing his usual coal, copper ore, and iron ore. Gus will probably have food. He has eggplant, parmesan, squid ink, ravioli, lobster biscuit, escargot, and a dusty skull, which is furniture. I'll take that. Why not? Let's see what Emily thinks is my aura today. A crop tank top and farmer pants. Okay. The animals are currently racing. We've got Shoe Biscuit with a slight lead. I'll check with the traveling merchant. Anything? She has seafoam pudding. Oh, you get +4 fishing temporarily. That would be nice for my next lava eel trip. Do I think the 1,500 it would cost to buy me a seafoam pudding? If I catch one more lava eel because of it, it's worth it. Successful. We have the Omni Geodes and Sprints again. I will dip into the Skull Cavern for at least a little bit. Of course, I will get the food made first. I'm going to take a short break after this day, but not too long. $50 calico eggs, straight up. Excuse me. Alright. Going down. Get some coal. Lose more eggs when you're knocked out. Well, then let's just not get knocked out. That makes you lose more eggs if you get knocked out, but it doesn't do anything to make it so you're more likely to get knocked out like some of the other ones do. Now, sloppy playing could get me knocked out. I will get the boost from that, and I will also eat the green algae. For some reason the sap got drawn to me. I don't know if I'll be growing red cabbage in summer, but in case I decide that I want to grow some of that along with the starfruit. But I think it's just going to be starfruit, probably. But I think it's pretty clear based on how much money I have now that we are going to have perfection before the end of spring. So actually, let's just trash it. It doesn't matter what I grow in summer. I could grow all poppies if I wanted to. I'm sure Penny would be thrilled. I'm gonna ask someone though if I should divorce Penny and end the farm with a different wife. Have children with Penny and then divorce her and keep the kids. That would be exceptionally cruel. Give her everything she dreamed of and then kick her out. I know they're video game characters, but it just seems so wrong. I was trying to get past that. Most people seem to agree that Crusader is the best enchantment to have on your weapon. Because no one wants to spend the time to blow up bummies. Because you have to knock them down before you can kill them with the bombs. So you can't just happen to kill a bunch of them at the same time as you're bombing the floor to try and get down faster. The bugs are now the same as they would be in the dangerous caverns. Well, at least if you're going to make me break every rock but one, you're going to give me drop shaft. Come to me, serpents, let me kill you. Wouldn't it be wild if I got like swarmed by 20 enemies and somehow got the money I needed just from killing things? It wouldn't happen. You don't make that much from killing enemies. killing enemies with a uh, parrot egg will never be an effective primary money plan. You can just supplement any other plan you have. Okay, I do have to be careful here. I am also going to drop a bomb. There's a bunch of calico eggs all together. I've only found 6 serpents. And there are none on this floor. I'm out. It's 11 p.m. I got enough calico eggs. It doesn't matter. $20 is fine. Don't even do the triple shot espresso. Okay, is there anything that I want to trade in some calico eggs for? Mystery boxes I don't need. Don't really care too much about cosmetic items. I have the strawberry seeds I need. If I clear out something from my inventory, I can get a magic rock candy. And I will get a calico statue. That'll be plenty. I don't need all the other desert stuff. But I want a statue of a cat somewhere in my house. I almost want to put the dusty skull over the crib instead of what's there now. Sounds like a fun idea. There's a lot of truffles. Which is what I was trying to get to happen, so. Hooray, my plans worked. Alright, so a few more things I picked up. It's not my only seafoam pudding. Alright, I'm not gonna worry about picking up the jade right now. Go to sleep. Alright. 120,000 from the farming spot. In total, 146,681. I will take my break, and we will come back into the day on the 18th day of spring. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, I'm back. Let's do this. So first we'll grab our usual things. There's my other cat statue, by the way. Let's toss our child into the air a couple times. And our daily coffee. It's an even number of days, so coffee beans as well. Here's our wife standing on the porch, watering the crops that are already watered. Cashback reward program because we're friends with Pierre. Just because we're friends with everyone. And let's... We've gotten rid of several of the bushes on our farm to make room for other things. But there's still some here. Excuse me. Which means we can get some salmon berries without even leaving the farm. Alright. Cannot ignore our animals. I mean, we could, but we shouldn't. I haven't forgotten to take care of them this stream. I'd like to keep that up. Because goodness knows I've missed it some other times. Do another Stardew Valley run. You fail it if you forget to take care of your animals once you have them. Or start with the Meadowlands farm so that you have animals from day one. That's how you do a challenge like that. In terms of like speed runs and stuff, the Meadowlands farm is still bad. Sure, you don't have to spend the money to get a coop and chickens, but the space constraints are just too severe to make the Meadowlands farm worthwhile. I'd love to have the standard farm. And the next time I play Stardew Valley, that is the farm I'm going to return to. Now, whether I stream it or not, I just don't know. I'm not going to immediately start another Stardew stream series, though. That does not sound like fun to me. And it's probably not the idea of fun to many viewers as well. I have some variety. I intend to do another cozy-ish game, but as for what it actually will be, I'm not 100% sure. There are a couple games I'm hoping go on sale soon, but we'll see. Alright, so we have 10,083,000. So this Ride our horse. Actually, I will get off my horse, because there's plenty of salmon berries to collect along the way. And I've only got 133 of them right now. How will I ever survive? Because there's so much left to do. I have to make sure that I have at least a few hundred salmon berries to deal with, the few days when I won't have uh, infinite energy. So, coming to the wizard's tower. Ignore the earth, water, desert, and island obelisk. The gold clock requires only 10 million G. It prevents debris from appearing anywhere on your farm and keeps your fences from decaying. So if you want to use a basic wooden fence and never have it go away, you can do that now. I'm going to put it right there. You can turn the golden clock off if you want your fences to decay or uh, have debris spawn for some reason. But now, it does not prevent debris from spawning everywhere. You can still, if you like the debris in the Cindersap Forest, you can still get that. If you are uh, I don't believe it prevents weeds from spawning on the Ginger Island farm. I would have to double check that. I don't believe I've looked at the Stardew wiki page for the golden clock since, the first time I got perfection, so. And back then I certainly was not utilizing the Ginger Island farm effectively. But now I use, iridium sprinklers with pressure nozzles and make sure that every space has like fertilizer and yeah. I've gotten a lot more serious over the years on making money. Part of me wants to look around for long enough to try and find the prismatic butterfly, because that is a nice little. I have seen the prismatic butterfly get raked over the coals for the amount of money it gives and uh, the relatively low chance it has of you actually getting a prismatic shard from it. But I still like the butterfly. I'm gonna grab this morel just so I don't get a lot of morels. Too bad this isn't a Zelda horse. If it were a Zelda horse, then I would run over those slimes and they would die. Especially Majora's Mask. Opponent in that game is busted. Just riding across Termina Field, uh, enemies falling before you. But you do have to really work to earn Epona in Majora's Mask. You gotta do the ghost invasion. I mean, it's required, unless you bomb jump. But don't forget that I love Zelda more than any other series, so I'm going to talk about it every now and then, no matter what game I'm playing. I imagine the randomizer will be coming at some point. So at this point, especially for Ocarina of Time, they have settings for randomizing everything. When I was doing more randomizers, there were a lot less options. I don't think I've done more than one or two uh, since they added Skulltula tokens to the random. Alright, so I'm not going to find the prismatic butterfly today, because I came back into town at 5. And I think it's right at 5 it cuts off. Now, if you come into the area while it's 5, it's okay. So, just gonna go to the island to get my uh, ancient fruit. And then, once I've harvested the ancient fruit and come back home, if I still have time, I can get some more salmon berries. But I should be okay. Before I warp off, get more truffles processing. They take time. I won't close the doors just yet. Alright. This alone will not be enough to get me the additional million I need for the other obelisks, but it'll get me closer. I'm trying to make sure I get every single one of them. 738 ancient fruits to be harvested every time I come out here. On future playthroughs, I think I'll probably go back to doing starfruit on the island. Makes wine day feel more exciting. I'm at 737, which means I'm missing one somewhere. There. Alright, we're back home. I did close that barn. Okay. I think one more day, and then I'll call the stream. So I don't think I'll be getting perfection today, but next stream will definitely be the finale. So you want to make sure to tune in on Tuesday. My next stream, Stardew. We'll be achieving true perfection as listed in Mr. Key's Walnut Room. It would be 98% right now. Went up 10% with the purchase of the golden clock, and then all obelisks for the purposes of perfection are treated the same, 1% each. So with only the earth and water obelisks left, that is where the remaining 2% is. But we'll do it another day. Get ourselves a little bit closer. Tomorrow is Friday, which means the greenhouse, everything in the greenhouse will be ready for me. I did not do a midweek fruit tree session, so we're a little behind there. So with saving all the regular quality ancient fruit, we're only getting like 330,000 from ancient fruit on the island every 7 days, but putting the rest into gigs will eventually help. So our spawn is now able to crawl, which means that no, we're closer to being able to create another infant. The criteria is that your baby can't be sleeping in the crib anymore because, there's only room for one. You also cannot get another crib to get children faster. So we're at 473,000 on hand now, which means that even if we wanted to get one of the remaining 2 obelisks today, I would not be able to. It's also the 19th now, so no salmon berries to worry about gathering. The day when I usually sell whatever green tea I have in my inventory is almost here. So I don't know what the durability remaining on my hardwood fences is. At the very least, I don't think my animals can get through it, so I don't need to worry about replacing any of it. Sometimes I like to wait until well, no, that statement would not have been true. Sometimes I think it would be nice to get the slime hutch after having the golden fence or golden clock, so that you can put whatever type of fence you want in to keep your slimes from roaming free without worrying about it ever decaying. Because I feel like maybe the iron fence, for example, would look best in there. But if it's going to decay, then I'm going to have to replace it. Alright, so we took care of our animals. We're getting the maple syrup. I see a truffle that's kind of peeking out of the grass that I'm going to grab. There also happened to be another one right there. So they both got picked up. Let's do our usual goat cheese thing. I'm not sure if this home is child safe. I have some concerns. Yeah, well. Alright, we'll head into the greenhouse. The money we make from the fruit tree fruit and the ancient fruit in here will be more than enough to get me up to having 500,000 on hand. I could make profession take much longer and get the return scepter before I get those obelisks. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Alright, that's all the fruit tree fruit. And sell the ancient fruit as well. We are going to check the traveling cart because I can. And out of curiosity, I also want to check the quest board both in town and in the walnut room because I didn't bother to this week. And I kind of am interested to know what I'm missing out on. Doja Cora. The rare seed, of course. I didn't take the Junimo catalog because I thought I had it already, but apparently the only one I have on this file is the garbage catalog. Uh, 100 pieces of ginger or the eggs necessary to make an omelet. Well, still can't farm ginger, and in several of the places where ginger can grow, I either have a uh, bee house or a fairy rose growing. So it would be more difficult than is typical to get 100 ginger in the rest of the season. And I don't like to ignore the eggs. I like to turn them into mayo and sell them. There's another salmon berry hidden. We got Pierre, we got Sam, we got Abigail, Sebastian, Maru. Don't know how I feel about Pierre being the adult supervision. I mean, yes, technically the marriage candidates would also be adults, but sometimes it gives me the ick because they don't really feel very adult. In any case, let us look at our perfection tracker to prove it. 98%, 204 obelisks. And yeah. Between the two, I would rather do Skull Cavern Invasion, but I don't think I'll do either one. If I bought the bait maker, then I would probably try and get some lava eel fishing in on this day. But I did not. I can chop down the trees. I spent a bunch of wood on making those extra 8 bee houses for the fairy rose I keep on accidentally picking, so why not chop down these trees and get that wood back so that I can make more kegs. I mean, if I want to buy everything in the game, there's still those 2 obelisks, which are together 100,000. There's a couple community upgrades that are getting close to 1,000,000 as well. There's a return scepter, which is 2,000,000 by itself. So if I want to buy everything in the game, there's still plenty of reasons to keep on making money. So just because I have the golden clock now does not mean I'm not interested in making more kegs. Let me pull up though, because I said I would check, and why not check now while I'm live so that you know the answer too. I'll pull up the Stardew wiki page on the golden clock. No, not golden click. I don't even know what that is. And I'm not going to stay on that page for long enough to find out. The gold clock has a very small profile of 3x2. It can be turned on and off, necessary to achieve perfection. When placed and turned on, the gold clock prevents debris from appearing on the farm and the Ginger Island farm. Grass is not considered debris by the gold clock, so it continues to appear randomly. Trees no longer randomly appear on the farms, although they can still be manually planted and continue to grow. Existing trees will still randomly drop seeds. Off of the farm, trees continue to sprout automatically as before. Green rain weeds are not considered debris as they are non-destructive and disappear the next day, so they will continue to spawn during green rain. Also keeps all fences from decaying, including those placed outside the farms, so they never need repair. And it keeps time with the in-game clock. When turned off, the gold clock's hands are replaced with an image of an hourglass. So it does prevent debris on both farms, and still allows some good things to happen. So if I wanted to get rid of the pathing that I put around part of this farm, I could. I wouldn't have to worry about additional weeds spawning to destroy them, but I'll just leave the fence. It's fine. If I had that area opening, I would feel compelled to plant something to cover it, and then I would need more sprinklers and more seeds, and I'm done with all that. Don't know why I continue to bother with golden coconuts. Do they sell for anything? Do they have a sell price? They do not, so there's no reason to just sell them as they are. We'll be getting another green slime egg. I'm not going to get very far in the Skull Cavern, but just because I don't have any other plans for this day, I'll at least pop in there. We can see that quite a bit of my... Actually, I'll get pine. I'll get wood, because quite a bit of what I planted here has now sprouted. How very exciting. So this should get me good on wood. Uh, Hello, Linus. I'm doing okay. I'm getting fairly close to the end of the stream, but it's gone, I would say, fairly well. Got the golden clock, so that's exciting. Alright, that gave me 13 pine cones to work with, so I should be able to replant most of what I just cut down. Like I said, the stream's going pretty well. Okay. The games that I've spent the most time streaming would be Stardew Valley, and I had done Skyrim previously. Currently working on a Pokemon challenge as well. I did some other Elder Scrolls and Cook Serve Delicious for a few streams. Looking at some other games that I'm interested in trying out on stream. Both some that I have played and some that I haven't. Seven months now? If I counted right. Okay, so I'm going to chop down all the trees here in the bus stop, and then I will be heading to bed, which, as I said before, this will be the last day of today's stream. As always, I will end the day on the earnings screen, but we will not progress into the next day. Just give myself a little bit more wood here. I need to take care of our animals, and it's raining, so I don't need to go close anything up. But I did get some coal and bone fragments. All told, we got a good amount of wood. I'll just sort out my inventory and get things picked up. Don't want to ignore the beauties of truffle oil. Alright, so that will be ending things off for this stream. If you watched live on YouTube or Twitch, whether you chatted or lurked, I appreciate you. If you are watching the archive later on YouTube, thank you for checking it out. I hope that however your day is going is progressing favorably for you. And let's see what we made today. We made 144,000, which will be enough for another obelisk. But we will do that, and I will see you And